My parents drained my college fund to bail out my brother. Again, you never expect betrayal to come from your own parents. Strangers? Sure. Friends? Maybe. But your mom and dad? The people who held you when you cried, clapped at your school plays, hung your honor roll certificates on the fridge? You don't expect them to be the ones holding the knife. And yet, here I am, college rejection letter in one hand, a drained bank account in the other, and a deep, ugly truth sinking into my gut like rot. They chose him over me. Again, the letter that should have changed everything. I still remember the day I got the letter from Stanford. It was a cold Thursday in January. Rain tapping at the windows. My mom was at work, my dad on a business trip. I was alone, which, in hindsight, was probably for the best. I'd applied to 6 schools, but Stanford was my moonshot. And somehow, I'd gotten in. I sat on the couch, reading the words over and over. We are pleased to offer you admission to the class of 2029. Tears. Real ones. I couldn't stop shaking. I called my best friend. Screamed into the phone. It felt like all those late nights studying, skipping parties, tutoring other kids for extra cash. It had finally paid off. This was my moment. Until it wasn't. You see, I wasn't naive. I knew Stanford wasn't cheap. But I'd planned. Or rather, we had. Ever since I was 12, my parents had promised they were putting money away for college. Every birthday, every Christmas, every time I asked for something and got the dreaded, "That's going into your future" speech. They reassured me, "It's all for college, sweetie. We want you to have a better life." We even had a 529 savings plan. My dad showed it to me once, back when I was 15. "Look at that," he said, tapping the screen. "Almost $92,000. You're set." I believed him. So when I got into Stanford, I didn't worry. I just logged into the account to start estimating expenses. But when I did, $147.59. I stared at the screen, refreshed it, logged out, logged back in. Still $147.59. Gone. All of it. I called my mom immediately. She answered like nothing was wrong. "Hey, baby, you okay? I'm at work. What's up?" I told her I got in. She screamed, "Oh, my God. Oh, honey, I'm so proud of you." Then I asked about the account. Silence. I heard her take a shaky breath. "What do you mean?" "The college fund. The 529. It's empty." Long pause. Then she said something I will never forget. "I was hoping you wouldn't check yet." Like that made it better. Like I should have just waited to be blindsided. I demanded answers. She said they had to dip into it for something urgent. I pressed harder. She deflected. So I said what I already suspected. "Was it Ben?" More silence. Then finally, "He's your brother. We had to help him." Ben is my older brother, by 4 years. Used to be my hero when I was little, the one who taught me to ride a bike and sneak extra desserts. But by the time he was 17, things shifted. First came the drinking, then the drugs, then the arrests, stealing a neighbor's car, breaking into someone's garage, DUI, assault, you name it. Each time my parents stood by him. He's just lost. He'll change. He needs support. They drained their saving for lawyers. Sold my mom's engagement ring once to cover rehab. And each time, he came back worse. Just this one time. Turns out, the last arrest, assault with intent, resisting arrest, plus drug charges, came with a bail of $75,000. That's where my fund went. The rest? Court fees, rehab, emergency living expenses while he stayed with a friend in Arizona. I asked my mom why they didn't tell me. Her voice was small. "Because we knew you wouldn't understand." I laughed. Couldn't help it. A sharp, bitter sound. "You're right. I don't understand. You took my future to fix his mess." She tried to cry. Maybe it was real. Maybe it wasn't. I didn't care anymore. When my dad got home from his trip, I confronted him too. He didn't even apologize. He just said, "Family comes first." I asked what I was. Then he told me not to be dramatic, They offered to help me get loans, suggested I start at community college for now, told me I was being ungrateful. I packed a bag that night and stayed with my friend Danny for a week. Stanford gave me until March to secure funding. I applied for every scholarship I could find, reached out to financial aid, pleaded my case. But without the 529 and without co-signers, I lost my spot. The worst part, a month later, Ben got arrested again. Heroin possession. And guess what? They bailed him out. Again. This time, they borrowed against the house. Where I am now, living in a one-bedroom apartment with 2 roommates, working 30 hours a week at a tutoring center while doing online classes part-time, watching my dreams shrink down to maybe next year and if I get enough grants. I don't talk to my parents anymore. And Ben, he sent me a text after I called him out in a group chat. Cry harder, nerd. They didn't even scold him. Why I'm writing this? Because I'm tired of pretending this is okay. I'm tired of smiling through it, of being told to be the bigger person. I did everything right, and they still chose him, over and over. And now I'm the one left cleaning up the pieces of a future I was promised, the one I earned, while they chase after a son who never wanted saving. The tension in the house was thick the day I came back. I wasn't sure if I was walking into a battlefield or a funeral parlor. Either way, I was ready. I hadn't been home in 2 months. Not since I'd packed my bag and fled to Danny's couch. But I had to go back. Bills were piling up. My phone was blowing up with calls from loan offices and scholarship committees. And I needed answers, real answers, not the vague family comes first nonsense. When I stepped in, the air smelled like stale cigarettes and burnt coffee. Mom sat at the kitchen table, eyes red. Dad was in his recliner, pretending to read the newspaper. And Ben, he was on the couch, headphones on, scrolling on his phone, completely indifferent. I cleared my throat. Mom looked up. Rachel, you're back. No warmth. No hug. Yeah, I said, I'm back. To talk. Dad lowered his paper, staring at me like I was an alien. We're busy. I scoffed. Busy bailing out Ben again? Mom's face tightened. Don't talk about your brother like that. Why not? Because he's your golden child? Because he's the one who gets a second, third, fourth chance, while I get a cold shoulder and empty bank accounts. Dad grunted. Ben's got problems. You don't. No, Dad. I had a future. Ben finally removed his headphones. He smiled, but it wasn't a nice smile. You think you're better than me? I never said that. You're just a spoiled brat with no clue what life is. You're right. I don't know what life is like when your family drains your college fund to keep bailing you out of jail. The room went silent. Mom's voice cracked. You don't understand. We did it for the family. For all of us. You're so selfish. Dad nodded. You're lucky you even have parents who care. If you cared, you'd see how much damage Ben's addictions cause. You're ignoring reality. No, Mom said, tears streaming. You're choosing to be the victim. The word stung, but something inside me snapped. The brake. I grabbed my phone. I have proof, receipts, bail paperwork, rehab bills. You sold Mom's ring. You took everything. Dad lunged. Give me that. I stepped back. No, I'm done hiding this. Ben laughed. What? You gonna post it online? Cry for sympathy? I shook my head. No, I'm gonna save myself. I want my money back, or at least an explanation. Mom looked like I'd slapped her. That's not how this works. Then what is? Because I'm out here without a future. No college, no savings, no support. Dad's voice dropped low. You're gonna regret this. I already regret trusting you. That night, I called Julia, my closest friend, the one who never judged. She told me, Rachel, sometimes family means the people who choose you, not the ones you're born into. I didn't want to believe it, but I knew I had to start looking for support elsewhere. The first step to independence. I started researching scholarships, loans, and part-time programs. I contacted a financial counselor at the community college near me. I found a therapist who specialized in family trauma. The question that haunts me: was I wrong to want a family that protected me? Or was it wrong for them to protect someone who destroyed everything they touched, even at my expense? That night, I sat by my window, looking at the stars. I whispered, I'm not giving up. Because even if my family betrayed me, I still had me. I couldn't shake the feeling that I'd been here before. Not just with Ben, with everything. Late one night, I sat down with an old photo album. The kind of thing you keep for sentimental reasons, but never really look at. I flipped through the pages, each photo a memory, and a question. Where was I in all of this? The birthday parties. I remembered my 10th birthday. The theme was Princess Adventure. I wore a sparkly pink dress. But all I really remember was Ben standing off to the side, sulking. Mom whispered to me that day, Ben's been having trouble at school. We're focusing on him right now. No birthday cake for me that year. No singing. The school awards. At my middle school award ceremony, I won Most Improved Student. The whole gym clapped. But at home, no mention. Instead, Mom and Dad spent the evening on the phone, talking about Ben's latest problem. Family trips always center around Ben's recovery retreats. I tag along, but it was clear I was just background noise. I dug through my parents' financial records, legal, because I'd been helping with the taxes since I was 17. There it was, repeated withdrawals labeled, bail bonds, Ben, rehab payment, attorney fees, emergency travel, Ben, every single month. From age 15 to 19, almost every family financial decision prioritized Ben. My college fund was just the latest casualty. The emotional toll. I felt invisible, like I was a side character in my own life story. They weren't just protecting him. They were enabling him, and in the process, destroying me. I remember the night I found a drug pipe in Ben's room. I told my parents. They told me to keep quiet. They called it family privacy. That night, I realized I had two choices. Keep quiet, keep sacrificing myself, keep living in Ben's shadow, or fight back, even if it meant burning bridges. I called Julia again. I'm done pretending. I'm done sacrificing. She said, then it's time to make a plan. Document everything. Seek legal advice about the bail money and financial exploitation. Focus on my own future, no matter what. I stood in front of the mirror, looking at my tired eyes. But something in me was stronger, a fire, because I finally saw the truth. Standing up to my family felt like lighting a match in a dry forest. I knew it would set off a blaze, but I didn't expect it to burn down everything I had left. I started by sending an email to my parents, calmly laying out everything I'd found. The missing college funds, the bail payments, the pattern of financial sacrifices I'd uncovered. I asked for a meeting. They agreed, but the conversation quickly spiraled. Mom cried, accusing me of betrayal. Dad called me ungrateful. Ben smirked like he was watching a show. They said, we did what we had to do. You're being selfish. Family is more important than money. You don't understand the pressure we're under. I said, you understand nothing. You took my future and threw it away for a son who doesn't even care. Ben stood up. You're just jealous. I grabbed my phone. I'm done. I'm cutting ties until you can respect me. I left. The next few weeks were lonely. My phone didn't ring. No texts, no calls, except for my friends. Then, one day, I got a call from an unexpected place. The bail bondsman who'd handled Ben's cases. He said, I've been watching this family for a while. You deserve better. He offered to connect me with a lawyer who specialized in family financial abuse. I began filing paperwork. I wanted to recover at least part of my college fund. It was exhausting and terrifying. The family's response. Mom sent a letter saying she was disappointed. Dad stopped talking to me altogether. Ben started spreading rumors at school. The emotional battle. I felt like I was losing everything. But for the first time, I felt free. With help, I found a part-time job with better pay. Started community college classes full-time. Applied for scholarships. The turning point. One night, Julia said, "You're not just surviving, Rachel. You're winning." I looked in the mirror again. No longer scared. No longer broken. Just me. The day I got my community college acceptance letter felt like a small victory, a patch on a wound that still bled. But it was mine. I was at a crossroads, my family or my future. Could I forgive them? Should I try to rebuild bridges? Or was it time to walk away for good? The unexpected call. One afternoon, out of the blue, my mom called. Her voice was shaky. "Rachel, we're sorry. We want to fix this." I listened, but I didn't respond. Ben reached out too, with an apology I didn't believe. "I'm trying to get clean." But old wounds don't heal overnight. Julia, my therapist, my new friends, they reminded me I was more than my family's mistakes. The decision. I realized I could love my family from a distance. I could build my own chosen family. I could protect myself first. The graduation. 2 years later, I walked across the stage to receive my associate degree. No fanfare, no family, but surrounded by friends who cared. The new beginning. I transferred to a university, started applying for scholarships again, got a part-time job in a field I loved. The final reflection. Sometimes the people who should protect you don't. Sometimes you have to be your own hero. And sometimes family isn't blood. It's who stands by you when the world turns its back. The realization,